Hi everybody, today we are reviewing Final Fantasy XIV to see whether you should play and do some social connecting with others, maybe your family or friends together. Hold on tight, let's start into it. Final Fantasy XIV is a multiplayer game online set in a Final Fantasy setting. From the beginning, your characters would look and sound very much like Japanese and is very Asian inspired. When you look at a character, you immediately recognize this is a Japanese game. The second thing we're going to talk about is its crossplay functions. Final Fantasy XIV Online will be able to play with PC, Mac, and PlayStation consoles. In the near future, it would be very much possible to play with Xbox One and Xbox X series. When we say console mapping, that means what buttons go where on the console. As you can see on the screen, we have L2 and R2 hotbar. They both control different items, skills, and abilities. From these screenshots, you can see Set 2 actually have different functions. You can access to your inventory, you can check hunting log and all sort of different kind of logs. In this screenshot, particularly on this quest, you have to use dance emoji to continue to open the box, otherwise you cannot really open it. It's really interesting to see how Final Fantasy XIV to integrate their different functions on their quest designs. Final Fantasy XIV also have mounts and pets available for players. I love my chocobo. Different factions will have different flags and different colors. Quest lines in Final Fantasy XIV is pretty diverse. You can do a lot of side quests, main story quests. At the same time, you also have daily quests. They call it duty, and they can help you to level up or to access to a certain dungeon and area. A certain types of roles, tank, DPS, or healer, may have an extra bonus. Since they use multiple maps, it's very much an open world game compared to regular Final Fantasy. The general communities in this game is very kind, and you can always run into people be able to help you out in different situations. Clothing in this game are very tied into questing. You can see right here from this quest particular, it will give you options of different gears as a reward. Now my husband played Final Fantasy with me a little bit. It's a fun way to play with your family and friends. Final Fantasy have a pretty cool story. You are the adventurers as a player in different worlds based on what kind of class you picked. During your adventure, you're gonna learn your ability and grow stronger as your skills. At the same time, you're gonna learn what's gonna happen in the future and what had happened in the past years, including what kind of god they believe, what kind of invasions that they have, and what kind of struggles that they faced. So they will need your help as adventurers to continue to fight against the evil, and the light of the crystals will guide you. That's why you are called the Warriors of Light. Let's talk about some of the cons of the Final Fantasy XIV. For example, we don't like the cutter screens. Like this screenshots, you can see it's hard to tell which monsters I target with, and a lot of stuff occupy the whole screens. One of the turn off for myself is liking voice acting. But when they do, it sounds amazing.
よかった。ありがとう。きっと協力してくれると思っていたの。では改めて暁の血盟の仲間たちを紹介しなきゃ。シャーレン、 という言葉に聞き覚えはあるかしら？
Some of the elements that Final Fantasy XIV offer, for example, would be the Golden Saucer. It looks like a giant theme park, and it has different mini games. It's a hub that you can hang out with your friends, and community is really. And another one is Player House area. You have different sceneries of your player house area. Some are beaches and some are foresty, and you can do whatever you want there. However, it's very expensive. It could be used for community guild, or Final Fantasy called a free company, or you can use your apartments. And Final Fantasy 14 does not have blood or gore. You don't have to worry about it. However, it does have fantasy violence involved because you have to fight monsters. All the people in the Final Fantasy universe believe in different gods, creatures. So we're going to encounter a lot of monsters, a lot of gods, and a lot of creatures. The rating for Final Fantasy XIV is T14, which means the minimum age to play this game is for teenagers. If you have a child, that may not be appropriate. This game, Final Fantasy XIV, does not have any obvious sexual scenes. However, it does have some suggesting themes. For example, dialogue indicating contents about a female's body. Now you have it. That is our review of Final Fantasy XIV. For more games review, stay tuned, subscribe, and share with your friends. Remember, you are loved, accepted, and not alone. You have greatness in you. See you around.